to welcome you to tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call meeting order, local roll call.
Slater?
Here.
Scholl?
Here.
Rusher?
Here.
Davis?
Here. We need a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Move.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16th, 2013 work session, the December 16th, 2013 regular council meeting, the December 30th, 2013 special
Move
council meeting.
And second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report and the December's treasurer report.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion, unless we have any claims for the December. Any questions?
Claims on the expenses and things like that. Hey, there was one, the one I had was from the Parks Department. They had purchased an $18,000 loader from John Deere. I mean, was that pre-approved and stuff, or as far as budgeting and things like that?
Skid loader.
Oh, yeah, the skid loader, yeah, that was a capital improvement project.
Okay,
It was in the FY14 budget.
okay. I was just curious about that. I saw that, and I didn't know if that was,
That goes through the bid process. and
that's
everything, too.
what I thought
Yeah.
it did. I mean, I thought it took place before I was on the board, so I mean, I just kind of curious. I didn't know, so, okay, thank you.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under communications, anything from the public in attendance this evening? If not, we'll move on to our first public hearing. This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing on the matter of the sale of a parcel of land adjacent to the Humboldt Municipal Airport, I will open the public hearing at 5:32 p.m. Review of bids.
We've got one bid for $25,000 for the land next to B&N. If you remember, this was originally considered, actually, it might have been considered before 2010. It looks like the original survey was like 2004 or 5.
Still a long time ago.
I thought it was 2010, but I was informed by the recorder that it was not 2010. So anyway, this has been in discussion for quite a while. The actual land, Dave, do you want to talk a little bit about it, Dave?
Sure.
You had, it's 2.6 acres, but the actual amount of land is closer to 1.5.
Yeah, the net acres is 1.42 acres, and that's a 370-foot along Highway 3 by 312 feet, I believe, deep.
Mhm.
1.25 acres is in roads, and 1.42 is net acres. Those would be tillable acres. Those acres are currently rented to Goodell, and he farms that, alfalfa or grass. It adjoins B&N Auto to the immediate west, and Bill Peterson has requested for some time to buy some of that land for area to push snow, or for what other purpose he might have, perhaps even the construction of a building, although nothing's been announced, but he could certainly do that. And the airport commission, we're interested in selling that land. There's no real need for that for airport purposes, and it supports a local business, so we're in favor of that, and we recommend it.
And we have a road going up to the hangar.
Yeah, there is an access road on the west side of B&N to the hangars, the 5 hangars that are there. We'll reserve an easement for that, to be a perpetual easement, so nothing can be built over that easement. And Bill understands that, and he's here. Any
was-
questions?
that was the
Also,
only
that'll
offer.
help us fund some of our other projects out there too, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments, Aaron?
No, like Dave said, the biggest concern is making sure we retain access to the hangars behind B&N. And, you know, I think this, with the amount of time this has been discussed, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. And there's really I think that's probably the best use. There's not a whole lot of other things you can do that. The airport already has an outlot that is available for development right directly, right on Highway 3 at the entrance to the airport. So there is land available for development, and that has not had any offers on it yet.
Cool. Do we have any written comments or objections on file, Gloria?
No, we don't.
Do we have any written comments or objections on file from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the matter of the sale of a parcel of land adjacent to the Humboldt Municipal Airport, I will close the public hearing at 5:36 p.m. Are we gonna table the next one? Do we wanna talk about this, or do we wanna do it on the public hearing?
I would think we would just talk about it
Okay.
and then continue it
Okay.
until Kevin can be in attendance.
This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing on the matter of the sale of a parcel of land locally known as the north half of 613 Sumner Avenue, Humboldt, Iowa. I'll open the public hearing at 5:37 p.m.
Okay. I've got several things in the council packet. There are the two renderings. One is what was previously discussed that has what INS has recommended. One is what Kevin has proposed to this point. And then the offer from Kevin Scow is included in that. He is offering $1 for the land. And then there is a memo from Eric in the council packet that outlines what would be the next steps if the council chooses to dispose with the property and sell it to Kevin Scow. The process would be to have the land, go through the hearing, have the land sold off contingent upon the zoning board of adjustment actually approving the variance for Kevin Scow. They would have to sign off on this. It is considered an allowable, or considered a variance because there are residential uses in the central business district, but this is not conforming to the residential uses in the business, or central business district. So with that in mind, the zoning board of adjustment can consider the variance. If it was not an allowable use, then the zoning board of adjustment would not be, hopefully I'm saying it right, would not be allowed to grant a variance for it because it's not an allowable use. One of the things I guess I would think would be good is if the council has some direction as far as what they expect to potentially make the project move forward, or whether it's even being considered still, to put that together so that we can have something drafted up by Eric to say, you have to meet these obligations, you have to pay X amount of dollars, it has to have, these design qualifications, you have to meet exactly this rendering with using these materials if you're gonna build it. Just some guidelines so that Eric can draft that up and we can move forward in that manner. Or if it's, if the council chooses to not move forward with it, do that at this point, whichever.
Would this building be eligible for the 3 or 4 year rollback on taxes? It would not be.
No, it's not in the tax abatement plan.
Okay.
So, outside of whether, I mean, if the council wanted to offer a tax rebate, they could, but that's not,
Yeah.
it's not eligible for a tax abatement at this point.
Okay.
Will there be any encroachment on the alley with this building?
The alley, if you look at, I sent out
You look like my picture.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you, I sent out the picture and it,
Didn't you?
The alley.
yeah,
because there's a lot of semi-traffic in that alley.
yeah.
And
And
if people park in front of a garage, that really blocks it even
You got
more.
the down view of it?
There would have to
Showing
be,
the parking, the garages are actually out way past the other buildings.
Unless it's in the back.
the alley was not originally there when it was platted, so that would have to be drafted with the sale of the property. What he's proposing comes to the end of the sidewalk,
There's the lot itself, and I don't know
where
if
the,
this diagram is,
where the lot actually ends is about 10, I think about 10 feet beyond that. And so, when the lot, if the lot would be sold, you would need to remove that section or provide an easement that says nothing shall be built. I mean, I would recommend just chopping it off and not selling that back half and just retaining that as city property. Things, obviously, you don't want.
Encroachment on
You
the
don't want,
alley.
you don't want the alley to be impassable.
No, I don't think so either.
So you can, it could be drafted such that the last, everything beyond the sidewalk would be excluded.
So would be allowable for parking there or not be allowable for parking behind the property?
I would imagine not allowable because it would be city property.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to park there.
Because there's a lot of semi-traffic through there.
You know, there's a lot of traffic in general.
Yeah, there is.
It's a
It's
busy
the post
area.
office.
No, Kevin's here.
Come on, he's here. You know, I don't know about the rest of you, for phone calls you've had,
Mhm.
you know, I can honestly say, and even though Kevin's sitting here, not one of them has been positive for me. You know, including business people downtown, historical society, other people and stuff, I've not had a positive comment about this. So, and when I saw the plans for the new Pizza Look building there, that's, council can do whatever they want, but I would hope they would not allow that anyway. But, it's, I know there's a lot of people upset about it, and the council can choose to do what they want, but they're just saying what I've had for comments and things like that anyway, so. It's a good.
Well, it's kind of been that, it's kind of been one-sided on my end also, Walt. I've had people say, you're gonna sell it for $1 for. If you're gonna sell it for $1, let's keep it. And then I've had other people say, well, that's why I ask about the tax abatement. If you're gonna do that, then don't do both. Don't sell it cheap and have the tax abatement. It's only been it hasn't even been a park yet. We haven't, I don't think we've given it a good chance to see where there's interest there. Even though we could use the tax dollars, let's put it that way, as far as the apartments would be paying. We've got streets that need to be done and other things that need to be done. Seems to be a sensitive subject with a lot of people in town, at this point anyway. And I know, Darrell, you said that you wouldn't live long enough to see a retail business put in there.
I believe that.
But then again, I look at Gazebo Park. That stood empty for a lot of years, and we put a gazebo in it, and we used it, and eventually there's a big, beautiful building there. That was, what's that been there, 3 years now, maybe? So never say never, but I know it's tough times out there on Main Street right now, to attract people. And we have empty buildings, so it's a tough call. I think it's a tough call for the council. But I don't see it selling for $1. I guess that's my opinion. And I know everything that Kevin does looks looks nice afterwards. Kudos for that.
You know, the first building we had, you know, our rendering of it, you know, actually looks like a commercial building. You know, and if that's the purpose of what we want, is to look like a commercial building, match the rest of it. The second one does not look like a commercial building. You know, and I realize today it's gonna look like new. 20 years from now, this could look absolutely horrible. You know, with the shingles and the front and stuff there, if whoever buys it from Kevin next year doesn't take care of it, you know, and there's no building on Main Street that looks like this, or has the ability to look like that in a few years. I mean, that's just an opinion of mine anyway, and it's, you know, same cost of building or whatever, but it's, I do not think that would be attractive on Main Street anyway.
Well, the exterior can be changed to whatever works, it's
Right.
just if
I
it's
don't have
loud
that
or not.
second.
Right.
No, I don't. But that's the one that Moldy does.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke with about 35 or 40 different people about the subject, and there was a very slight majority of the people that were in favor of it, but there was an overwhelming majority of the people that wanted us to get at least the fair market value for the property downtown, not sell it at a discounted price. So I spoke with Aaron today. I did a little research over the weekend and came up with some numbers on some existing property downtown. And and I got this information through the assessor's website. Existing properties, 607 Sumner Avenue. Their lot was 23 by 157, and their assessed value was approximately 8,100. And I've got like 6 examples of different property on here and what their assessed value is, land value is through the assessor's office. And then so the city lot, it looks like it's somewhere between an estimated assessed value of